The journey is conversations with ordinary people about stories of transformation and how we may have had setbacks in our life and how we persevered through those, how we've learned from those obstacles, and how they've maybe helped us on our path today.
Well, welcome to the journey. My name is Kevin Polkey, and I am the host of the journey. Um, as we are wrapping up 2025, I had an opportunity to listen to, and key to this, listen to the oral version of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. And as I was listening to uh, the Christmas Carol being told as Charles Dickens, one of Dickens' original writings on his classic Christmas story. Um, I was just reflecting on all the different versions I had seen, either on TV or the big screen, or musicals or plays that I had seen over my lifetime, that each one of those seem to have a little bit different twist or version of this classic story of the journey of Ebenezer Scrooge and the different individuals that were in his life over the course of a night. For me, the biggest piece, though, I take away, and what I think was even more powerful, was listening to the story being read, um, was about Ebenezer uh, transformation that he had through through the visit of the ghost of Christmas past. He had seen how different things he had experienced in his life. Of he was not necessarily kind to his playmates, so they, in response to that, excluded him from playing with them, and that he later developed the skills of business and commerce and the discipline of saving money. That even though he had met a woman who he fell in love with, when it came to choosing over business and money, his greed or maybe fear of not having enough or not being good enough took over. That he found a partner in Jacob Marley that would support this mindset of prosperity, at least from a financial standpoint. And that as time went on, he found things to confirm his bias that he was the smart one, and where everyone else was foolish with kindness or generosity. That it probably was even more entrenched in his thinking after his business partner Marley died, that Scrooge inherited all of Marley's um, wealth, because Marley didn't have any family and no other friends besides Scrooge. That this closed, very frugal individual continued to make more and more money, continued to see things more from X's and O's, and anything else seemed to be weakness or a lack of intelligence. It wasn't till he went through this experience this night of looking at his own life and then how his life had turned into this character of Scrooge, how his heart had hardened and gotten cold, how his bitter and anger continued to reinforce uh, or confirm that mindset or bias. It was only then, through the ghost of Christmas past and present, when he heart began to melt and soften, looking at his employer or his employees' family situation and how, in spite of having very much at all, they were working with what they had and showed love and kindness and grace. And his nephew doing the same thing for him. And then when he got visited by the ghost of the future of what his life could end like and what it would be like after he passed away, that he'd only be a memory to be mocked and made fun of. Upon waking, he had a different heart and a different mind, which was then the catalyst, as we know, as you've heard me talk many times about the hero's journey, that this is this wake-up call. But once he woke up that next day in celebration, going to his employee's house, seeing Tiny Tim and all the family, that he began the journey of having a new life. That the dreams that he had were the catalyst to wake him up, but it was his action and his intent was really where the transformation came. So the reason why I want to talk about that this at this time period, when this episode comes out, it's going to be between Christmas and New Year. That what if we use this story of Ebenezer's transformation from being Scrooge into being this generous, loving individual who is Tiny Tim's second father, that we use that going into the upcoming year. That maybe the Christmas Carol story by Charles Dickens isn't just for the weeks prior to Christmas. Maybe it can be a template for us to use throughout the year. That instead of choosing to be angry and bitter and to be self-indulgent, that maybe we can have a soft heart, an open mind to be loving and generous toward others. For me, that is the path that I'm going to choose, and that's the invitation for you. As always, thank you for being here, and I look forward to being with you next week.